Прямо сейчас, через несколько минут, секунд даже к нам присоединится Алина Мудрая, SEO компании Values Value. Она расскажет про состояние игровой индустрии в Украине сейчас, про тренды, про найм, про все самые горячие и сложные темы, которые многие сейчас обсуждают. Также мы пообсуждаем сегодня, как стать Unity-девелопером, раскроем несколько секретов про создание креативных видео, про автоматизацию тестирования в AAA-играх и расскажем про эмоциональную связь с игроками. Поэтому обязательно задавайте свои вопросы в чатике. Здесь у нас в Пайне есть раздел «Чат», где вы можете писать свои вопросики. Обязательно передавайте приветы, ставьте плюсики, если вы меня видите, слышите. Ну и давайте, наверное, двигаться без лишних слов. Мы ждем. У нас уже 106 человек смотрит. Круто, круто. Вот, Таня, привет, Таня. Круто. Что ж, позвольте мне представить нашего первого сегодняшнего спикера. Это Алина Мудрая. Алина, приветствую тебя.
Привет, Тарас. Привет всем, кто слушает из русскоязычных, ребят. I will switch now to English. It's going to be our English class. I hope my English level will be acceptable for everyone. And greetings for everyone. I hope this online event is going excited to you. Okay, Taras, just checking about the presentation. How can I? Yeah, thank you for your help. And unfortunately, I don't see the chat, so I will be talking to you. And afterwards, I will look through all comments that you leave in there. So I will try to interact with you. So hi to everyone. Anyway, my name is Alina. For those who don't know me, I'm a CEO at Values Value, the recruitment company and expert in hiring game dev development, game dev talents. And I can say now that we already a proven expert. As for me, I've been working in HR and recruitment for more than 10 years, 5 of them in the game industry. And if someone hearing about Values Value for the first time, we helping game studios hire teams, headhunt professionals, and set up offices in Ukraine. And I will explain how we're setting up. It's not like physical assistance from the administration perspective. We help to hire core team, the main employees, and this is how we build offices. And we're going to talk today about Ukraine. So this is how we build offices in Ukraine. Besides our main business and let's say duty, to finding the best talents for the game companies, we helping candidates to find the best opportunities in the game development field, let's say. Also, besides this, our main value and goal is to return trust and respect for the whole HR profession. And we providing a lot of free consultations, participating in this kind of conferences as experts, sharing our expertise and whatever, conducting a lot of surveys, sharing this data and analysis as well in our social media. So basically this report is going to be about it. We collect a lot of data, and I will be very happy to share this data with you. Hold on, I will slide to another page. So the sources that we used making this report, it's our big salary report, big salary survey, let's say. This is a large-scale annual survey of the game development salaries. We conduct this report for the last 5 years. and we rank the data that we collected about salaries by country, age, experience, specialty, and many other factors. Another source is information from our partner In-Game Job. You can look through the website already, or my colleagues will help you and provide the link. It's a job board of all the vacancies. It's like an aggregator from all the vacancies in game development industry. So they also are making a lot of researches about the Eastern European job offerings for almost 3 years. And they analyze all open positions, also including Ukraine, but not only Ukraine. And another very important data, it's our inner statistics that we collect, like internal, let's say, statistics or analytics that we collect from our interviews. So this data is in general about salaries. And I will mention that this data could differ from the one that people provide in Big Salary Report, because of course, when a person is headhunted, his expectations quite differ from his local salary, let's say. So this data is very important, and we use this data for the analytics to our clients, and we will share some main information with you as well today. And of course, open data from different sources. This data you can easily find by yourself, but I need to say that there is not much information. Most of the companies, when they making benchmarks about salaries, they anyway use our information from the Big Salary Report. So I will tell to all listeners, please participate in this report next year. I understand that 5 minutes of your time or 10 minutes of your time, it could be very luxury nowadays. But these 10 minutes of and the data that you provide will be very huge. Will give a huge impact to the whole industry. So please participate. It's very important for you, especially. So let's look from the brief overview about our landscape of the Ukrainian game development. So basically in Ukraine, according to our internal analytics, and if I will be mistaken, please, you can easily correct me in the comments, and because all of us really want to understand the correct data, the correct information. So there is almost 400 plus companies in the Ukrainian market, and that consists of the 30,000 plus professionals. And there is a few researches, and I know that there was a lot of companies were trying to make a huge research and provide the data, but they're failing because there is a lack of information in the open sources, or people not sharing this information. So I hope this kind of report that we representing to you now will help to share this information. So more than 30% of the specialists work in the 30 largest companies, such as Playerix, Ubisoft, Plarium, Gameloft, Wargaming, Roommate, Voki Games, GSC, Game World, G5 Lab, and etc. You can also provide, if I didn't mention something, you can also provide it in the comments. Let's have a look. And of course, most of the studios has branches of companies with European, Israeli, or Russian roots. The main outsources in our region in Ukraine is Roommate, iLogos, NIX Games, Kevuru, AAA Game Art Studio, Dragon's Lake, Bingo Game Studio, and others. Yeah, companies that was founded by Ukrainian founders with the external equity participation are GSC Game World, AB Games, Frag Lab, and others. Please, here I also asking you to provide more information if you have one in the comments below. And next slide. So recently, our founder Tanya Laktionova made a post in the Facebook page Ukrainian Game Developers about the main highlights in our Ukrainian market. And I hope someone will assist me and put a link to this post, and you can maybe share your information or look through the comments that people left there. So we decided to show you main highlights about the overview of Ukrainian market. So I think these events that was happening in 2021, of course, they will affect and influence the all trends in 2022. So, for instance, Playrix dominates the market with the new studios that he's acquires. So it's like the main, you can see below, we put it on our slide. So it's like Zagrava, Homes Games, Voki Games, and Bulat, and etc. Also, the major companies with the offices, with the huge offices in Ukraine, continue to grow. Moon Active hire a lot of talents in Ukrainian market, and Tilting Point recently opened also an office in Ukraine, in Kiev. Ligu Games also opened already an office in Kiev. So the market is growing. A lot of newcomers from other regions, other countries, let's say, arrive into Ukraine. Also, the major part of Belarus relocated or opened an office in Kiev. So we know for sure that there is like Visor Games, Belka Games, Say Games, Gismart, and others. If I didn't mention someone, please also put the comment. For me, it would be also important to know all the Belarus companies that arrived here. And those companies we know because we were helping them with legal support and other questions that they were having about moving to Ukraine and etc. So there was a lot of acquires. For instance, Voodoo acquires 8 games or H8 games. Tiny Build acquires Holy Grief, and I think this is the major events that happened in 2021. HyperCasual grows to casual. Well, Teams is getting bigger. They're becoming more professional. Of course, they earn a lot of money in this specific genre. And of course, companies willing to attract more and more employees. And the projects getting more complex. So those experienced companies that succeed in this specific genre, they improving a lot. And of course, they're looking for more and more talents in the same market. Stalker, everyone is waiting, hoping, and following the updates. So it's important to mention because everyone is waiting for the second release. Genesis invests a lot of money resources in the game industry and setting up internal studios, or like you can already know and see a lot of new companies that successfully supported by Genesis. China was on the way and still on the way to Ukraine. And I can say it from our perspective. For instance, at least 3 companies from China we have in our portfolio, and they're attracting more and more employees in Ukraine, opening an offices, and I think it will getting bigger and bigger here. Esports, investing a lot. There was also a major event, let's say, it was a conflict that everyone was following between Frogwires and the publisher Nacon, and I will not stop here and explain what's happened. I recommend you to Google and to find the whole information, because you can get stuck. There is plenty of comments, articles, and etc. But everyone is mentioning that it was a huge highlight of this year. Of course, social casino is getting stronger. It was already strong enough in our region. Now they also compete with the game development industry. I mean, they say it's the same market, but well, from the perspective of profile roles, it kind of differ. But anyway, everyone is looking for the same people. So they also trying to attract the best talents. So we need to mention that as well. Also, the I think it's really cool insight or event that was happening in 2021, that Global Game Jam, like in Ukraine, in the Global Game Jam, started to be an independent region. And now a lot of indie companies can be shown in these events as a separated region, and it's very important. For instance, I was participating in Global Game Jam in Berlin, and it was kind of really exciting experience. I was understanding how the poor Unity developers working, how the creation of the game, it's a really tough and stressful experience. And of course, the presentation that we failed eventually, it's also the main and major event and experience as well. So yeah, I think it's very cool highlight of this year. And of course, to make a conclusion by all these highlights, you see that the market is growing. Everyone is the main goal for this year is to find the best talents in this boiling market. The market is really boiling, and everyone is trying to find the best one, but there is not much best employees. Let's face the truth. And companies, like the amount of the companies are bigger than the capacity of the candidate market, let's say. And also we have a lot of not announced studios that, for instance, they also come into us and asking, they willing to open offices. You still didn't hear about them, but you will. And there is still a lot of hidden studios that will open their offices in Ukraine. So we need to count that as well. So we will start our geography lesson. And here you can see the top cities by offices in Ukraine. Of course, the major one is the capital, is Kyiv. You can see the percentage here. And on the next level, you can see Kharkiv. I think this city is having a lot of potential. Like I'm could be a Vanga here a bit, but I think this city will compete Kyiv at some point, because now Kyiv struggles a lot by the quantity of the people. So Kharkiv could be a very nice opportunity, like to set up an office there. And then it's Lviv, Odessa, Rivne, Dnipro, and Vinnytsia. And this data we collect from the Big Salary Survey. So I think next year we can see maybe a difference, but anyway, it's a good overview and understanding what's happening with the Ukrainian game development market. So the next slide will be about quantity of employees in this Ukrainian region, and also like, for instance, Ukrainians employed at the companies with the main offices in Ukraine, then Europe, Israel, Russia, and Belarus. So offices are in those, like, headquarters there, but employees working either remote, either in the physical office. And you can see that the average salary level depends on the location. Like, it's kind of different, but also this information is from the Big Salary Survey. This is how people were responding, so we can see this data here. And another important factor is knowledge of English. That's why I'm talking here in English, trying to improve my skill, let's say, and we can see the direct correlation between English level and the salary level. Also, I need to mention that almost 5 years we're talking about that it's important to start learning English, or it's important to practice it in your work. I understand that you can learn it, but you don't have specific tasks where you can improve it. And for me, it was very interesting to see the percentage, for instance, that there is a huge amount of candidates with the intermediate level. And the main problem, and this speech will be for the companies, European companies that willing to attract candidates with the upper intermediate English level. The problem with this middle level, that they understand everything that you tell. They can use the English information. The main trouble that they have, it's this fear of talking, because they afraid to make mistakes in their language. It's normal, I think, reaction, but it's also a struggle. So what we face as a recruiting company, that we have a lot of great candidates with a great potential, but they afraid to talk in English. They failing the interviews. So I decided to stay here longer, because please, English now, it's I don't know, new black or something. It's important to learn. It's important to practice. And now we face that a lot of European companies willing to open offices here, willing to help Ukrainian employees to stay here and work for the international companies. So please, let's start to improve it today. So the next slide is our market by the job openings. So you can see the vacancies by the job posting, how they were growing. So the information here is from 2019 to 2021. And well, I can see by this chart that in March there was a huge drop down, and everyone is remembering that it was a pretty tough period. No one was understanding what to do. Of course, the costs to the HR recruitment, they were cut out, and people were not searching, for instance, candidates by the job openings, let's say. Probably they were searching it by headhunting, but I'm not sure as well. So now you see that in September 2021, the peak was on the July, and now like, you can also check this information on the in-game job portal. They collect all these postings and aggregates these job postings from all Ukrainian Gamedev, but not only, they collect all the Russian speaking segment in their website. And yeah, we'll switch to next slide. And here you can see the most wanted talents. And I need to mention that this chart is mostly about people who, like, it's from the job postings. It's not the request of the market, for instance, from us, from the headhunting. So people posting a lot of programming and development vacancies. On the second place is art and animation, and I can prove that a lot of requests from the European companies for the headhunting also is coming for the art specialization. And for me, it was surprising to see that on the third place there is like marketing, not game design. And yeah, so this is also information from the in-game job portal by the job posting. And yeah, the global transition to the remote work was opening new horizons for the cooperation between companies and the specialists. So you can see the difference, yeah, especially you can see the dynamics from 2019 to 2021. Now everyone, no, okay, not everyone, most of the companies offer remote work. And what does it mean for our market, for the Ukrainian market, let's say, so let's specify here. That means that we kinda, don't swear, stuck. And everyone is like, now they can offer remote work. All the countries can, like for instance, Belarus, Russia, Ukraine, Europe, they offer the same vacancies. It doesn't matter where you're located. You just need to change the tabs to change the job now. So you don't need to apply for a visa, I don't know, checking the route to the office. So now it started to be more simple for the hiring, but I mean, simple for the employee, but not simple for the hiring. So you need to compete with a lot of other stuff. And you can see on this chart how it was growing. And I think it's going to increase more. And about relocation, it's also a very important thing. And I think I want to talk with you here because we had here a discussion. So you can see that based on our salary report, 31% of our respondees didn't have plans to relocation. But at the same time, 44% are ready to relocate. And I think it's a normal situation that it's 50-50. But someone is telling that it's a huge problem. It's like a lot of people that are willing to leave the country. But anyway, most of the respondees willing to relocate to Europe, to States, and there is a huge percent that willing to relocate to other cities. It's also for me, it's very interesting to observe. Or to CIS region and then to Asia. Also very interesting point that Asia is still on the top 5. So reason. It's also a very important slide, and I think mostly it's information for European companies probably that will watch this report or now hearing this report. So of course, not of course, I was surprised to see that higher salary is not on the top of the list. You see that higher living standards, it's the top reason for relocation. Some of the candidates knows that in Europe they can earn less, but they will have a very high standard of living, and it's more important for them during this anxious times, let's say. Of course, there is a reason of unstable political and economic situation. On the third place, higher salary, warmer climate, and traveling. Well, I think it could be a very nice option for the company to offer some offices, temporary offices in warmer places, for instance, for the winter period. International companies also, they want to have experience with the international companies. And I think since this information was from the big salary report, and we conducted it in March, the reason that there is no relevant companies in the specific city will disappear, because now you have an option to work remote. And also it's family and personal reasons. So the situation about salaries, I will explain you what to do. So you can look to this graph, and this is the salary data from the big salary survey of 2021, and you can see it on the all data you can see on the in-game job portal with the section salaries. I think some of my colleagues can post a link now, or I will do it later. So as I said, that survey was conducted in March, April 2021. And if you're looking for the employees, and when we were looking for the employees in March, we were looking at the median that's shown here. But now, to understand what's happening with the salary market, it's better to use Q3 indicators. On the slide, on the next slide, I will explain you how you need to do it, for instance. So this is example about middle Unity and senior Unity developers, and also lead game designers. So in the big salary report, Q3 is $2,350 USD for the middle Unity developers, and our analytics internal is 3,000. So it's almost plus 35%. So the conclusion is, when you read in the salary report on the in-game job, you can see Q3, not median, and add 25-35% for the headhunting. Of course, those positions, you can post a vacancy on the in-game job, but I think that you will close the position through the headhunting, not from the job posting. Or if you're super lucky, you can also close it by the job posting. So the situation that we're facing here, that everyone is headhunts everyone. The number of the companies are growing. A lot of money is now invested in the game development. Several companies with a great potential appears every year. Experienced companies opening new division. Plus the number of investors that's willing to invest their money in the Ukrainian game industry, not only Ukrainian game industry. Because of this, the number of offers for many employees in the industry has grown. And we estimate that on average, game designers receive almost 3 emails per day, daily. And Unity developers received more than 10 emails. But I think this information could be very simple. It's not it could be worse, I think. So if there is Unity developers, please tell how many offers you receive in daily. It will help us also to understand the madness of the market. So, I need to this is information for the European companies. If you think that you have a cheap force in the Ukrainian market, it's not true. So we have a very skilled and professional specialist, and with the same salary expectation that you will face in the European market. Why it's interesting to enter to the Ukrainian market? Because we have a low taxation, but the expectation of the salary will be not. There is no cheap employees. It's like, I don't know, illusion. But you can save a lot on our tax system for now. Maybe something will change. So also important thing to the European companies, I think it would be a nice opportunity to have a partnership between very strong universities that we have here, because a lot of good candidates with a great potential, they come in from the Kiev Technical University or Kharkiv, or we have a lot of art universities. There is plenty of online education, whatever. So you can find a talented junior specialist and attract it to your company. So it could be like a normal partnership between universities. And important thing is HR trends that happening in Ukraine. Well, recruiters and HRs are the new producers. I will explain what does it mean. Well, in 2021, the demand for recruiters and HR has grown a lot, and recruiters are on the third place by the number of the requests from the clients in our company, for instance. So on the first place, we see game designers, producers, and on the second, C-level management. So you can see on the third place, there is like recruiters. And everyone's salary has grown up a lot. I'm sure that the big salary survey will change completely, and we'll see the dynamics, how it's differ, for instance, from 2019. Also, acqui-hiring, if someone don't know what does it mean, you can Google and see. It's when companies buying already set up teams or small companies. Not because of the product, because of the team that already professional and good, and they like know how to work with each other. And new bonus, well-being. Yeah, it's the most. We just discussed with Taras before this report that it's important to understand the mental health about your employee. HR needs to provide new, I don't know, events to support employees, to prevent the burnout, the possible burnout. And we see a lot of, like, by the end of the year, we see a lot of these things. So probably, I don't know, to make online kindergarten, make offline kindergarten, customize for the employee something. And yeah, I think this well-being thing will grow a lot. So we see new bonuses for the attracting the new candidates. For instance, we were, in our case, in our experience, there was a case that company wanted to give a car for the sign-in, like as a sign-in bonus. So it was like really discussed because they really wanted a best team player. So they were thinking about this thing. I think this kind of new bonuses will appear more and more. And well, there is new medias about HR trends and career in the games. And here I will ask also my colleagues to send you a link on Boost. because it's a very nice media about the situation of the HR trends in the market, specifically in the game dev industry. And I think it's going to appear more and more. So the number of the vacancies also is growing, and it's increased a lot comparing to the previous years, and it's not going to stop. More candidates, well, they consider only remote work, not even hybrid one. So also, I think we need to consider that because they started to rebuild their own houses, and I see a lot of this posting on LinkedIn. A lot of developers, they decided to rebuild attic and make it more comfortable. So I think more and more people would like to work from home. And the most important trend is a fast offer. Now we have our roadmap in our company, and there was 2 days for the feedback of the hiring manager. But now you need 2 hours, not at 2 days, for quick response, because now candidates, when they talk to you, they already have almost 3 or 5 offers on their hands. So fast offers could be nice opportunities for experienced companies. And the most important thing, that there could be offers without even interviews, because you know that this candidate is super cool, and you can hire him without all the stages that you have, all the pipeline that you have in your company. Thank you very much for the listening. I hope this information was helpful, and you can join us on the social networks. We share everything new there, including the results of the surveys and research. And I will be also glad to receive feedback and look forward to your questions.
Wow, such an astonishing data. Wow, thanks, Alina. That was awesome. And we were talking with you before this session, and I was listening all this data, and I was just, wow, really? We have a few questions from our Q&A section. Have a big one, so I will read it now. Hi, Alina. Thanks for your presentation. Fantastic work. My main question: what about figures? Newzoo was evaluating the Ukrainian video game dev market in 200 million and 15.4 million gamers. So 15 plus million people spend $200 plus million in their hobby. But it's game playing Ukraine. What about game develop Ukraine? How many people? How much money?
Well, I understood the question, so I decided to put on the slide about brief overview of the Ukrainian market. Well, in Ukraine, there is almost 400 teams from the different level of the activity, and we didn't include indie. I mean, we don't see the whole bench of the indie developers, and we don't know them, unfortunately, by name. We don't have a game development map of the Ukrainian market. And this is my request, for instance. This is the request of our sources, to have a map of the Ukrainian market, to understand how many good companies we have here. And of course, we cannot count money that they earn and etc., because we just need to know the names here. And well, there is plenty of branches as well from the European or CIS region, let's say, companies. And yeah. And here we were including indie companies, but I think it would be nice thing, and I was hearing that game gathering will they still working on the game development map. Maybe they will help to see the best overview that we have here.
Okay, thank you. And one question from me. What is the most hard to find person, the most hard to find, hard to close vacancy maybe? Yeah. What is the toughest people to find?
It's a good question, and it's a question to the recruiting company, right? Because I mean, I represent recruiting company, and for us, for instance, we don't take any more Unity developer in for the HyperCasual company, because it's a really very competitive market, and especially when they have a good relationship between each other and they have this contract with stop list of the head, like they cannot headhunt from each company, and of course you cannot. It's a struggle to attract candidates from, for instance, casual casual genre to hyper casual one. And of course, for the hyper casual Unity developer, it's like generalist that can do everything. I mean, the good one. And yeah, that this vacancy is pretty hard to close. But I think in the product companies, and I would like to hear maybe some of the recruiters listening to me now in the product side, it would be very interesting to understand what's the hardest position for them to close, because I think they use a lot of tools. They make job posting on the a lot of websites, and probably waiting for the that candidates will come by themselves. But for me, it's very interesting how the market is changed for them. Of course, developers is pretty hard to find because they have a lot of requests in their LinkedIn. So for them, it's like another working day to respond to all the requests that they have in their social medias. So for me, for now, for this 2021, I think Unity developer for the hyper-casual project is like the hardest position.
Thank you. So we have a lot of questions. I think we'll have time just for two, maybe. First of all, hey Alina, thanks to you for the presentation. Is there any specific reason no US or UK companies are opening studios here? However, headhunters are offering jobs in UK or US relocation?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it again, please?
Sure. Is there any specific reason no US or UK companies are opening studios here in Ukraine? However, headhunters are offering jobs in the UK or the US with relocation.
As I understood correctly, can you send me in the written form, because like
yeah, sure.
I think the question is how many offers we have for the UK market.
I send you private chat. No, why there is no offers from no opening studios from US and Ukraine and United Kingdom here in Ukraine, but they are hiring. So what's the problem? Why don't they just open the studio here?
Well, there is like we still will talk about this problem that the market is not transparent. I know, for instance, several of the companies from the US that are willing to open. They already opened some offices here, but you don't hear about them. Some of them doing it on purpose. They don't want to share this information probably with the competitors. And well, they offer the remote work, or they want to open an office here, but I think we will hear about it maybe in 2022 or 2023. About UK companies, I agree. I mean, there is a huge market of the recruiting agencies, and most of the European, I know for sure here, for instance, in Berlin, there is a lot of UK recruiters that working on the Berlin companies, for instance, because I think the level of the professionalism, let's say, of those recruiters are higher, and but I'm not sure about the offers for the UK market. They using UK recruiting agencies as a tool, for instance, and yeah. I'm also not sure about relocation to United States now, because it could be very complex. That's why for them it would be much simple to give a possibility to work remote. But we know the main problem with this market, it's the time difference. And I will tell about our company, for instance. For us, it's when we try to build work-life balance. For us, it's very hard to work with the US customer, for instance, because we have a very huge time difference, and you need to work at night, but you want to rest at night, and you have your family, kids, and etc. So for us, it's very complicated. So you need to shift your day if you work remote, for instance. That's why it would be easier to relocate there, but still, it's not the same, like, for instance, for the IT market. I mean, in the game development.
Okay, thank you. So we have time for the last question. I'll send it to private chat also. Is a high turnover rate a typical thing for game dev companies, or it's just a few of them that are struggling with it? What is the reason of the high turnover rate?
High turnover rate. High turnover rate. I wish I understood this meaning. High turn. I will Google it. Maybe I'm not understanding correctly.
When employees leaving the work, leaving the jobs there from companies they like, and just
turnover, like when they turnover, when they want to. Well, I think I will say it like this. So the market is how to say, evaluating from the perspective of the management and HR, because the main problem that we were facing in the Ukrainian market, that there is no culture of firing people, or there is no process about well, HR, like typical trends. This meaning that, like, this turnover, it's something unique now. I can say that there is a few companies that can create a very nice process to like, if I were a company, for instance, I will be making a list of the candidates that was important and unique for me, and I'm lost it for some reason. So I will be tracking them, and I will make like, you know, a checklist of the asking how they doing and wherever, to in order to have them back. But I don't think that there is a companies that doing it as a process. But I need to say that this thing is changing a lot. I think it's why we don't have it for now, because the market, it's still very raw. And I think this trend, HR trend in 2021, that the market will improve, that they will hire a very professional HR managers that will be working on this, not like most of the companies thinking that HR managers, they recruit people. No, they need to build this system to return good candidates. So I hope this is gonna improve. So for now, yeah, we don't have a system.
Okay. Wow, such a great answer. Thank you. So that's all for today. Thanks for your really astonishing data. Thanks for your insights. Thanks for your answers. And if you